What if the reason you've started canceling plans, ignoring phone calls, or choosing quiet nights at home in depression isn't bitterness, and isn't you becoming antisocial? What if it's actually your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do? Most people over 65 carry a quiet fear. They notice they don't want to socialize the way they used to. Parties feel draining. Small talk feels pointless. Even family gatherings can feel overwhelming, and the first thought is, what's wrong with me? Here's the tension. At the same time, national surveys show loneliness among older adults is rising. According to the National Poll on Healthy Aging, about 1 in 3 adults between 65 and 80 report feeling isolated at least some of the time. The CDC links social isolation to higher risks of heart disease, depression, and cognitive decline. So, which is it? Is withdrawing a warning sign, or a normal psychological shift? The answer is layered. And to understand it, we have to follow the cause and effect timeline of how your social brain evolves across decades. Let's rewind to early adulthood. In your 20s and 30s, your brain is wired for expansion. You're building networks, career, romance, community. Evolutionary psychologists explain this as a survival mechanism. The more alliances you form, the safer and more resourceful you become. You tolerate awkward conversations. You attend events even when tired. The reward system in your brain lights up with novelty and possibility. Then something starts shifting in your 40s. Responsibilities peak. Stress rises. According to the American Psychological Association, midlife adults report some of the highest daily stress levels in the country. Your social energy begins to feel finite. Here's where one of the most important psychological theories comes in. In the 1990s, psychologist Laura Carstensen at Stanford developed socio-emotional selectivity theory. Her research showed that as people perceive time as more limited, they prioritize emotionally meaningful relationships over large social networks. Translation: your brain begins filtering. Now fast forward to after 70. This is the shift most people ignore. It's not that you dislike people. It's that your tolerance for shallow interaction drops dramatically. Your nervous system becomes more sensitive to overstimulation. Crowded rooms feel louder. Conflict feels heavier. Emotional drama feels exhausting. And that brings us to the 6 psychological reasons you start avoiding people more as you age. Number 1. Emotional efficiency. After decades of experience, your brain becomes better at predicting outcomes. You know which conversations will drain you. You know which people leave you feeling tense. So, you conserve energy. This is not antisocial behavior. It is selective investment. Number 2. Reduce social reward from novelty. Dopamine response to new stimuli declines with age. That thrill of meeting new people doesn't hit the same way it did at 25. Familiarity feels safer and more satisfying. But here's the twist. If you only stick to comfort, your world can quietly shrink. Number 3. Accumulated social fatigue. Think about how many roles you played: employee, parent, caregiver, spouse, community member. By 70, many people feel they've spent decades meeting other people's needs. Avoiding gatherings can feel like reclaiming space. The breaking point often becomes visible after retirement. Without workplace structure, invitations decrease. You stop initiating. Weeks go by quietly. Number 4. Fear of vulnerability. As we age, losses accumulate. Friends pass away. Health issues appear. The more loss you experience, the more protective you become. Opening up means risking more pain. So, you avoid. Number 5. Sensory and cognitive overload. Hearing changes. Processing speed slows slightly. Following fast conversations in noisy rooms becomes harder. Instead of admitting difficulty, many seniors simply withdraw. According to data from the National Institute on Deafness and Other Communication Disorders, about 1 in 3 adults between 65 and 74 has hearing loss. Social withdrawal often follows untreated hearing decline. Number 6. Shifting identity. After 70, many people quietly question who they are without their former roles. When identity feels unstable, social settings feel exposing. It's easier to stay home than explain what you're doing with your life now. Now here's the critical turning point. Avoidance becomes dangerous not because it's abnormal, but because it can compound. The National Academies of Sciences reported that social isolation increases risk of premature death by nearly 30%. Chronic isolation also raises dementia risk by about 50%. So the same mechanism that protects your energy can, if unchecked, harm your health. Let's talk fallout. Isolation doesn't just affect mood. It affects money and lifestyle. Seniors who withdraw are less likely to seek medical care early, less likely to hear about community resources, less likely to stay physically active. Patterns repeat across millions of older Americans. The U.S. Census Bureau shows that nearly 28% of adults over 65 live alone. Living alone does not automatically mean loneliness, but it increases risk if avoidance becomes habitual. And here's the failed fix many seniors try. They force themselves into large group settings that drain them even more. Or they tell themselves they should be more outgoing like they were decades ago. That self-criticism deepens shame. Old advice said, stay busy, join everything. Modern psychology suggests something more precise. Be intentional, not busy. Here's how to apply this today. First, choose depth over volume. Instead of 5 casual interactions, focus on one meaningful conversation per week that aligns with how your brain now prioritizes connection. Second, address sensory barriers. Get a hearing check. Improve lighting at home gatherings. Small adjustments reduce overwhelm dramatically. Third, initiate on your terms. Invite someone for coffee at a quiet time. Take control of the environment instead of avoiding interaction altogether. Here's the clear warning. If avoidance turns into total withdrawal, your brain adapts to isolation. Neural pathways that support social confidence weaken. The longer you stay disconnected, the harder re-entry feels. But here's the open thought I want you to consider. What if the desire to narrow your circle is wisdom, but the skill you now need is learning how to protect your energy without isolating your future? In the next video, we're going to explore the exact habits that strengthen social resilience at 70 without exhausting you. If this resonated, press like so more adults over 60 see that what they're feeling is normal. Share it with someone who has been quietly pulling away. Drop a comment and tell me which of the 6 reasons hit home for you. And subscribe, because the next chapter will show you how to stay connected in a way that feels calm, meaningful, and fully aligned with who you are now.